As the mother of the real victim, Quanice Hayes, I would like to speak on behalf of myself and my community supporters. Let's start by looking at the facts as recounted to us verbally in the summary provided by Detective Camara and also by District Attorney John Reese. I'll start by saying let's not lose sight of the real issue at hand. My son Quanice Hayes is the real victim in this situation. The Portland police, in cahoots with DA John Reese, will try to paint my son, my 17-year-old child, as a robber or a car prowler, all of which is not a reason to be executed in the United States of America or the state of Oregon. The fact remains that we will never know the truth about whether Quanice was even committed those crimes because on the morning of February 9, 2017, Quanice had the misfortune of having a bloodthirsty, murderous-minded Officer Andrew Hurst arrive on the scene. And as in the scene of the Merrill Hatch case, we know that when Officer Hurst shows up, someone has to die. Unfortunately, my son was his latest victim. As reported by all news stations as of today, none has reported, nor has the DA's office mentioned that Quanice did not, in fact, produce a replica gun and point at officers, at any of the 5 officers that was on the scene. I'd also like to say that since the beginning of this, since the day that my son died on February 9th, we have been misinformed and given false information. I found out that Quanice was killed 9 full hours after he had already died, and I found out through Facebook. Nobody's at the DA's office or the Portland Police Bureau felt the need to contact me or my family to let us know that our loved one had passed away. Any information that we received after that, we've learned from the media. I've asked numerous times that the Portland Police contact us directly before releasing any kind of information. You know, they misinformed us and told us that Quanice was shot 3 times in the chest. We later found from the death certificate that that wasn't true, that my son was shot in the head and twice in the chest. Also, you know, they told us that the Portland Police and Detective Camara and the DA's office told us there was 3 officers on the scene. There was in fact 5 officers on the scene. None of the other officers felt the need to use deadly force, only Officer Hurst. Quanice was on his knees when he was shot in the head and in the chest. I think that's important when anybody wants to say that he was this dangerous robber or that which is irrelevant at this point because he's not here to stand up for himself. We would like to ask that the federal government step in and do a full investigation into the extrajudicial murder of my son. From the very beginning, we've been lied to about my son's death. And still, we haven't received much to any information. Any information I received about my son's death has been verbal communication through the DA's office and my attorney. I learned the how and why, not the why, but the how he died from the death certificate. They didn't even tell us the exact place that he died. I had to learn that from the death certificate. I would like the community to stand with us, with me and my family. And I would like the federal government, because obviously the DA's office is not for us. You know, so I would like a higher authority on this situation to help us do an investigation so we can learn out the truth of what happened to my baby.
Did the district attorney's office or did the Portland police tell you in person yesterday that a grand jury had decided not to charge the
No,
officer?
they did not tell us in person at all.
How did they communicate with you yesterday?
I received a call from a detective, Eric Camara, and on the phone, he attempted to give me a summary of what happened. I immediately cut him off and referred him to my lawyer.
And did they tell you what charges the grand jury was considering against them?
They did not. No.
What do you want people to know about your son? Because what they paint is a picture of a person who held a man at gunpoint for 30 minutes and then was going through people's homes. What do you want them to know about your son?
At this time, I refrain from speaking about Quanice's life.
Can you just talk about the kind of person he was, what you miss about him, what you loved about him?
He was a child. He was a child, and he was born here in Portland, Oregon, so he was an Oregon citizen his whole entire life. But most of all, he was a kid, and he was their big brother.
Who is with you today? Just kind of curious, family.
This is my entire family here in Oregon. With my mom, cousins, sisters, brothers, and Quanice's sisters and brothers. And close friends. And my attorney.
What do you want to say about the support that you've received from people here today?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out that's here to support us. I'd like to thank my attorney, Ashley. I'd like to thank Teresa Rayford with Don't Sue Portland. I'd like to thank the AMA, the ACLU, and Black Lives Matter for standing by us in this time.
I know you want the Department of Justice to step in, but in terms of the internal investigation that's underway, sorry, we're adjusting here, with the internal investigation with the police department, what is your message to Mayor Wheeler today? We'll be able to talk to him.
I declare from answering. I don't have a message for them.
Anything else? Thank you.